Excellencies, heads of government, ministers, ladies and gentlemen. Before proceeding with my speech, allow me to pay homage to a great African leader, President Nelson Mandela, who has been an inspiration to me and whom I am honored to succeed on this stage. I would like to start by thanking our host, Australia, the people of Australia, especially the First Nation owners of this land, for the warm welcome we have received here in Sydney, and to IUCN for inviting me to be the co-patron of the 2014 World Parks Congress. The last Congress took place shortly after my father, the late Bongo Ondimba, announced the creation of 13 national parks covering 11% of Gabon's terrestrial areas. We finalized the creation of the parks in 2007 when our national parks law was approved by Parliament. Subsequently, we have added 6 new Ramsar sites, a wildlife reserve and an arboretum, bringing our total terrestrial protected area coverage today to 21%. This protected area network plays an important role in protecting Gabon's rich forest biodiversity. However, in the line with the Aichi biodiversity targets under the Convention on Biological Diversity, we have integrated biodiversity priorities outside protected areas into our national land use plan. In so doing, we aim to manage representative portions of all distinct land units in Gabon, thereby protecting all wildlife of conservation concern. Recently, we have extended these efforts to our territorial waters and exclusive economic zone. Already, our parks and reserves protect about a third of our 800-kilometer coastline, including the world's largest population of nesting leatherback turtles, as well as 50% of the protected mangroves on the west coast of Africa, with less than 1%. But less than 1% of our territorial waters and none of our EEZ are currently protected. Nowhere near 20-30% that marine biologists tell us that is needed to maintain biodiversity and restore depleted areas outside parks. Following on from a marine expedition conducted in 2012 by National Geographic, the Wade Foundation, the Wildlife Conservation Society, and Gabon's National Parks Agency, we launched a program we call Blue Gabon, which aims to restore, preserve, and sustainably manage Gabon's ocean territory, just as we have done in our forests over the past decade. So today I can announce our decision to create a network of marine parks covering about 23% of Gabon's territorial waters and EEZ. Within which no commercial fishing will be allowed. This will include a 27 square kilometers extension of Mayumba National Park in the south, extending out to the limit of our EEZ. The remainder of the EEZ will be divided into community and commercial fishing zones and oil exclusion zones where industrial fishing is not allowed, close to strategic infrastructure. We have already taken measures to eliminate illegal fishing in our territorial waters and plan now to expand these actions out to the limits of our EEZ. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 5 years, we have made significant investments to transform our National Parks Authority into a professional, well-equipped parks management agency, increasing staffing and funding by an order of magnitude. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the courage and dedication of our National Park staff, particularly the rangers who work tirelessly in difficult conditions to protect the parks and their wildlife. Over the last few years, we have experienced increasing levels of violence in several parks, where foreign nationals penetrate across remote borders to kill elephants for their ivory and more recently, pangolins for their scales. Armed with heavy caliber rifles or automatic weapons, bands of organized poachers linked to organized criminal networks now regularly fire at our rangers as they attempt to avoid arrest. In fact, in 2011, we were obliged to deploy over 100 troops to support parks rangers in northeastern Gabon. And just last week, I took the decision to significantly increase this force. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is that this is no longer simply an environmental issue. The ivory is just another commodity. These criminal groups will also traffic drugs, arms, gold, diamonds, and even human beings. They corrupt our officials and threaten even kill those that they cannot corrupt. The fight against wildlife crime is a fight for peace, stability, and economic development. Recently, I've been working closely with heads of states of Botswana, Chad, Ethiopia, and Tanzania through the Elephant Protection Initiative to federate African nations and national parks agency in the fight to save our natural heritage. I'm also taking action to ensure that Gabon responds to the biggest threat to biodiversity, climate change. We have integrated the principle of low carbon emissions into our national development strategy and are taking measures to preserve our forest cover, which today stands at 88%. I will be hosting a South-South dialogue on climate change in Libreville, in Gabon, in mid-2015 to contribute to a strong agreement to fight climate change at the Conference of the Parties in Paris in December. Given the growing pressures we see on parks and ecosystems around the world, both on land and in the oceans, as well as the alarming impacts of climate change, it is critical, ladies and gentlemen, that politicians make a pledge here in Sydney to support the men and women who dedicate their lives to protecting our parks and to work together to preserve the integrity of our planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you. His Excellency Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon.